I just wanted to get on here. It's noon where I am, noon Eastern Standard Time. So I figured it would be a good time to go live, especially if there are people at work that might be able to tune in during their lunch break. And I just wanted to offer a space to connect with our breath and our bodies. In light of, the election and post-election, I know for a fact that a lot of Black women are feeling a lot of feelings right now. I know a lot of people are, but this space specifically, this right here, right now, is for Black women. And I know that a lot of us are feeling feelings right now. And I was torn between what do I have to offer. And I know that holding space in this way, in this capacity, is something that I feel like I can offer right now. So I wanted to show up and do that. So, yeah, we're going to get into some gentle movement. So, feel free to come and go as you please. This is live, but I'm going to put the time stamp in the comments of when we actually start with the practice. But I wanted to get on here and just, say that to you all so we can get into this practice today. But, like I said, I want this to be a space where this practice is on YouTube, so it's for anyone, but specifically, this is for Black women. And I wanted to read something before we get into the practice. And this is from Love's Ripening, Rumi on the Heart's Journey. So I wanted to read a poem out of here that really resonates with me when it comes to my love for Black women and how important we are, not only to this country, to society, to the world. We matter and we are important. And yeah, so without further ado, I'm going to read this passage. It is called Nothing Happens Without You. Should everything pass away, it couldn't happen without you. This heart of mine bears your imprint. It has nowhere else to turn. The eye of intellect is drunk with you. The wheeling galaxy is humble before you. The air of ecstasy is in your hand. Nothing happens without you. The soul is bubbling with you. The heart imbibes from you. The intellect bellows in rapture. Nothing happens without you. You, my grape, wine, and my intoxication, my rose garden and my springtime, my sleep and my repose. Nothing happens without you. You are my grandeur and glory. You are my possessions and my prosperity. You are my purest water. Nothing happens without you. It is all your being, your gentle good faith, and your seeming cruelty. You are everything of mine. No matter where you are going, nothing happens without you. They place their hearts with you, and you break them. They repent, you break them again. You do all of this yourself. Nothing happens without you. Were something to happen without you, the world will be overturned. The Garden of Eden would turn to hell. Nothing happens without you. If you are a head, I'll become your feet. If you are a fist, I'll become a flag. If you disappear, I'll turn to nothing. Nothing happens without you. You've disturbed my sleep. You've effaced my personality. You've broken every attachment. Nothing happens without you. Should you stop being my beloved, my affairs would be disastrous. My comforter, my dear companion, nothing happens without you. Without you, life would not be delightful, nor death joyous. How can I rebel against your sorrow? Nothing happens without you. Whatever I say, O seal of judges, all seeming good and evil notwithstanding, say it yourself by your grace. Nothing happens without you. And it says Divini Shamsi Tabrizi 553. So I read that to say that Black women, although this looks like a loss for us or whatever you may interpret it as, nothing happens without us. And we are a very powerful group of people and we are very special to humanity. So with that being said, feel your feelings, whether it's anger, whether it's hurt, feel those feelings. And what we're going to do in today's practice is we're just going to work through those spaces where you may be holding tension in your body, and we're going to allow ourselves to feel them and find ease in our body to let them go. So with that being said, my name is Misha. I am a 200-hour registered yoga teacher, Vinyasa and Hatha yoga, and I'm here today to share my practice with you all. And Whatever I say is a suggestion. Please feel free to do whatever you want. You don't have to practice here at all. If you're just here for the vibe, that is fine too. But please listen to your body before you listen to me. And we're going to start our practice in a seated position. So finding a comfortable seat that can look like crisscross applesauce, that can look like legs straight out ahead. So finding a seat that works for you, and you may need to, move some meat out the way so that you can sit flat on your sit bones. And in finding your comfortable seat with your back straight, back upright, chest slightly out, and together we'll actually all take an inhale and allow your shoulders to roll down your back and to rest in a neutral position. So while we're finding our comfortable seat, we're just noticing our alignment in our bodies. Is our back upright? Do we have space between our ears and shoulders, making sure we're not crinkled up? But we'll get to that point where we'll start working out those parts in our bodies with movement. But if it is safe for you, I invite you to close your eyes, or you can keep your gaze softly ahead. But finding stillness in your comfortable seat with your eyes closed or your gaze gently ahead. And I invite you to participate in a 4-part breath. So what that looks like is we're going to inhale through our nose for 4. We're going to hold for 4, and then we'll release for 4. So I'll go ahead and count that off. So we'll inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and release. 2, 3, 4. Okay? So we're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and release. 2, 3, 4. Nice. And we're going to go ahead and do that again. So we'll inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and release. 2, 3, 4. Now I invite you to bring your breath to a regular breathing cycle, inhaling through your nose and exhaling out of your nose or your mouth, whatever feels comfortable in your body. So we're going to continue to inhale through your nose and exhale out of your nose or out of your mouth. And finding your inhale and your exhale, breathing gently, I invite you to bring your awareness to the space between your eyebrows, noticing any sensations that may show up for you in that space. Finding your inhale and your exhale. And maybe you're holding tension in that space. Maybe you notice that your eyebrows are scrunched up. And seeing it if on your exhale, you can gently release your eyebrows and let them relax on your face. Inhaling and exhaling. And finding your inhale and exhale. On your next exhale, I invite you to bring your awareness down to your mouth. Finding your breath. And as you inhale and you exhale, maybe you notice if you're holding any tension in your mouth. Is your tongue sitting at the roof of your mouth? And if on your exhale, you can release and let your tongue rest at the bottom of your mouth. Or noticing if you're gritting your teeth. And on the exhale, you can just relax your jaw down. So noticing with each inhale and exhale, if you can find places to soften in your mouth and in your face. Finding your inhale and your exhale. On your next exhale, I invite you to bring your awareness down to your heart space. And maybe you take both your hands and put them over your heart. Maybe you put one hand over your heart, whatever feels comfortable for you in your practice today. And on your inhale, feeling your heart expand. And on your exhale, feeling your chest contract. Feeling expansion, allowing your chest to come out on your inhale. And on your exhale, allowing your chest to contract. And connecting with your heart space, I invite you to take this time to set an intention for your practice today. As I said, today's practice is for Black women. And this is a space for you to sit in all the feelings that you may be feeling today. But I invite you to set an intention at this time. And your intention can look very specific to you and what you need for today's practice. So if your intention is to allow yourself to be angry and to feel it, that's fine. That's fine. And don't feel any shame about that. So connecting with your heart center, I ask that you ask your heart what it needs right now. And I ask that you gift yourself that during this practice today. And if you feel like you're complete in setting your intention, we'll take an inhale together. And on the exhale, we'll drop our hands down to rest on our legs, rest on our knees. And then we'll get ready to invite some gentle movement into our practice. So finding your inhale and your exhale, I invite you to bring your awareness to your shoulders. And on your inhale, we're going to take our right shoulder and inhale that right shoulder up to meet our right ear. And on the exhale, we're just going to let it drop right back down into a neutral position. So remembering that softness that we found in our face and our mouth and our eyebrows, we're going to inhale that shoulder up to our ear. And we're going to exhale, just let that shoulder drop right back down into a neutral position. Now I invite you to continue that movement according to your own breath cycle. Exhaling, letting your shoulder drop down, and inhaling, letting your shoulder come up to your ear. So finding that according to your own breath. Good job. And then when you're ready, I invite you to offer yourself some more movement. So we'll inhale that shoulder up. And this time on the exhale, I'm going to turn to the side so you all can see me. This time on the exhale, we're going to exhale and allow that shoulder to roll down behind our back down into a neutral position. So inhaling that shoulder straight up to your ears, remembering that softness in your face, and exhaling, letting it roll down behind your back, down into a neutral position. So we're only doing that right shoulder right now, just connecting that movement with our breath. Inhaling it up, and exhaling it, rolling it down behind our back. Good job. So go ahead and continue that movement according to your own breath, and I'll give you space to do that. And then when you're ready, finishing up whatever cycle you're on right now, we'll let our shoulder rest in a neutral position. And then this time we're going to go in the opposite direction. So we're going to inhale that right shoulder back up to our ears. And on the exhale, we're going to let it roll down in front of our bodies into a neutral position. So inhaling up to our ears and exhaling, letting our shoulders roll down in front of us, back into the neutral position. So finding that movement according to your own breath, taking your time, moving at your own pace, inhaling your shoulder up, and then exhaling, letting it roll down in front of you. Good job. All right, when you feel like you've had enough, we'll meet back in a neutral position and we'll find stillness, inhaling and exhaling. And I invite you to take this time to notice, because maybe you notice a difference between how your right shoulder feels and how your left shoulder feels, because we didn't work on that left shoulder yet. So I invite you to just sit with noticing. Notice what you feel in your body, in your shoulders. And then when you're ready, we're going to invite that same movement into our opposite shoulder, our left shoulder. So inhaling your left shoulder just straight up to your left ear. And on the exhale, we're just going to gently drop that left shoulder back down into a neutral position. Inhaling that left shoulder up to our left ear. And then exhaling, dropping that left shoulder down to a neutral position. And as we're finding that movement, sinking it to our breath, I just want to give you a reminder to notice your face. Notice if you're holding tension anywhere where you don't need to be holding it. And if you can find that softening that we found earlier in our practice. Good job. If you've been sticking with me, thank you for sticking with me and giving yourself this space to work through it. And then when you're ready, we'll keep our shoulder in that neutral position, and then we'll invite more movement into this. So I'll turn to the side so you all can see me. But this time we're going to inhale that left shoulder up to our ear, and on the exhale, we're going to let it curl around down our back and coming back into a neutral position. So exhale, lifting that shoulder up. Inhale, lifting that shoulder up, and exhale, letting it curl down behind our back into a neutral position. Good job. Taking your time, syncing every movement with a breath. And then when you're ready, we'll find our shoulder back in our neutral position. And this time we'll do that in the opposite direction. So inhaling our shoulder up to our ear. And on the exhale, letting our shoulder drop down in front of us, back into a neutral position. Inhaling our shoulder up. And exhaling, letting it drop down in front of us, back into a neutral position. So finding that movement according to your own breath. When you're ready, we'll find stillness with your shoulders back in a neutral position. And I invite you to rest your hands on your lap, finding your inhale and your exhale, and just notice. Notice the space between your shoulders. Notice if you're feeling any difference. Just notice how it feels. And then when you're ready, we'll invite both of our shoulders into movement. So inhale, allowing your shoulders, both shoulders to come up to your ears. And on the exhale, we're just going to drop both our shoulders down into a neutral position. Inhaling both shoulders up to our ears gently. And exhaling, letting our shoulders drop back down. Inhaling your shoulders up. And exhale, dropping them back down. So feel free to continue that according to your own breath. We're moving slowly. We're listening to our bodies. Good job. And now we'll invite more movement into this. So inhaling our shoulders up. And on the exhale, letting our shoulders round behind our back, coming back into neutral. Inhaling our shoulders up. And exhale, letting them round down behind our back into a neutral position. Inhaling your shoulders up, and on the exhale, letting them round down behind your back. Good job. And remember, we're moving gently, we're moving slowly, and we're allowing ourselves to feel everything that may come up in our practice today. Whether that's anger, whether that's sadness, whether that's hopelessness, we're allowing everything to come up today, and we're working through it. When you're ready, I invite you to continue that movement in the opposite direction. So inhaling our shoulders up to our ears, and on the exhale, allowing our shoulders to drop down in front of us, back into neutral. And when you're ready, finish out that last cycle, and we'll find stillness with our shoulders back in a neutral position. So if you've been sitting crisscross applesauce one way, I invite you to maybe switch out how you're sitting. And we'll find our comfortable seat again. And finding our inhale and exhale, we're going to draw our awareness down to our lower back and our hips, and we're going to work out some areas down there. So we're going to do a seated cat-cow, and I'll go ahead and describe that to you all and show you all what that looks like. So in a seated cat-cow, we're going to sit in our crisscross applesauce. You can have your hands resting on your lap. And on your inhale, you're going to inhale, allow your chest to come forward, shoulders to come back, chin slightly raised. And on your exhale, you're going to curl your back, letting your hands slide along your leg, shoulders and head hang heavy. Inhale, letting your chest come forward, slightly raising your chin, shoulders come back. And on your exhale, curling forward, letting your hands slide down your knee, letting your head hang heavy. So I invite you to find your seated cat-cow according to your own breath. And as you do your seated cat-cow, I invite you to offer any other movements you may need in your cat-cow. So for example, you might want to add a, what is it called? Like a twist, not a twist, but some gentle circles. So as you come forward, leaning forward, allowing your chest to come forward on your inhale, and on your exhale, you come back. And on your inhale, leaning forward, allowing your chest to come forward. And on your exhale, tucking your head, letting your back round, coming around your circle. So yeah, we call these circles, right? Or some form of a seated hip circle. So on the inhale, we're letting our chest come forward. And on the exhale, we're curling our back and coming around in our circle. If you're still here, you get what I'm saying. And if you found enough movement in that direction, we're going to go ahead and take that in the opposite direction. So inhaling, allowing our chest to come forward. And on the exhale, we're curling our back, allowing our circle to come to the other side. And while we're doing this, I want to give a reminder that we should be finding our legs anchored to the ground. So if your legs are moving around too much or really wobbly while you're making your circle, maybe you make your circle a little smaller. And that's advice I need to give myself. But while we're doing this, we want to keep our bottom of our body anchored to the ground. We're only moving from the waist or the hips up. Our lower body, we want to keep anchored to the ground. And I mean moving from, I would say, our lower back up, because our hips are down here. So keeping our lower body anchored to the ground and finding that circle. And then when you're ready, we'll find stillness with our back upright in a neutral position. And we'll just sit for a minute and connect with our breath. And notice. Notice what feelings are coming up for you right now in this practice. And we're just noticing them. We're not labeling them as good or bad, but we're noticing. And what we're noticing is that our emotions are valid no matter what they are. And you're allowed to feel them. And especially in your yoga practice. And when you're ready, on your next inhale, I invite you to inhale your arms up overhead. And on the exhale, we're going to forward fold any amount, letting your head hang heavy in your fold. And you want to be mindful in your fold not to curl your back. If your back is curling in your fold, you've gone too far. So finding that sweet spot for you in your forward fold with your back, don't curl your back, but allow your back to be straight in your fold and your head to be what is hanging heavy. Okay? You don't want to curl our back in our fold and cause injury. But we do want to make sure that our head is hanging heavy in our fold. And you can even sync your breath with your movement and find some movement in your forward fold. So that may look like exhaling, letting your body sway to one side, inhaling back to center, and exhale, letting your body sway to the other side. When you're ready, we'll find stillness in our forward fold. And on your inhale, we'll inhale, slowly walking your hand back up to meet your body and finding an exhale when you find yourself in your upright position. And I don't think we're going to find our backs today because I want this practice to be accessible to people who may be at work right now. But what we will find are some gentle twists in our practice. So this can be done if you are sitting at a desk chair right now. So I would just, if your desk chair has arms, you might want to just scoot out further in your chair. But we're going to find a gentle twist on each side of our body. So I invite you to inhale your arms up overhead. And on the exhale, we're going to twist to the right side of our bodies, letting our left hand rest on our right knee and letting our right hand come behind us, or that right hand can come next to us. It depends on how deep you want to go in your stretch today. And we'll look over that back shoulder, finding that stretch on our right side of our bodies. And as you're in this stretch, I invite you to notice the space between your right shoulder and your right ear. And if you find yourself crunching on the exhale, I invite you to notice if you can just exhale and drop your shoulder down and find some space between your ear and your shoulder. Inhaling and exhaling, remember to find our breath. And when you're ready, we're only going to move our head. I invite you to inhale, and on the exhale, only moving your head to look over your front shoulder. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale, and on your exhale, looking back over that back shoulder once again. And when you're ready, we'll inhale, our arms up overhead, coming out of our twist. And on the exhale, we'll forward fold, letting our head hang heavy in our forward fold. Let me scoot back so you all can see me. And like I said, in your forward fold, it's important to remember we're not curling our back, but we're letting our back be straight, allowing our hands to be flat on the ground out ahead of us and our head to hang heavy. Begin to breathe. And on your next inhale, slowly walking your hands back up to meet your body, back into our upright position, finding our inhale and our exhale. And then we're going to go ahead and do that twist on the opposite side. So when you're ready, I invite you to inhale your arms up overhead. And on the exhale, we're going to turn to the left side of our body, allowing our right hand to rest on our left knee and allowing that left hand to come behind you, or it can come beside you. However deep you are going in your twist today is up to you and up to your body. So finding your hand placement, and we're going to take an inhale. And on the exhale, we'll sink into that twist. Looking over your back shoulder, noticing the space between your chin, your elbow, your ears, and your elbow, making sure, not your elbow, your shoulder, making sure you're not crunched in the shoulder, but giving yourself space. So that might mean bringing your hand even closer to your body, making those adjustments as needed. Finding your inhale and your exhale, looking over that back shoulder. And while you're in this twist, also noticing where you can soften in your body. Can you soften your hands? Can you soften down through your toes? And when you're ready, I invite you to inhale. And on your exhale, only moving your head, we're going to exhale, turning your head to look over your front shoulder. And when you're ready, on your next exhale, we're going to slowly exhale, bring our head back to look over our back shoulder. Finding our last couple of breaths here. And when you're ready, I invite you to inhale your arms up overhead, coming back to front and center. And we'll exhale, forward fold, letting your head hang heavy in our fold. And when you're ready, we'll inhale, slowly walking our hands back up to meet our bodies. So finding our comfortable seat in our upright position, we're going to slowly begin to come out of today's practice. I just wanted to hold some space and offer this gentle movement to my people because, I want to know how I can show up right now, and I know this is the way I can show up for Black women. So before we close out today's practice together, we're going to inhale, our arms open wide, and on the exhale, we're going to let our arms close, giving ourselves a big hug, embracing ourselves. Maybe you find a gentle sway in your embrace. And when you're ready, we'll find stillness. And we'll inhale, we'll open those arms wide again. And we'll exhale, we'll find that embrace again with the opposite arm on top. finding our breath, loving on yourself, knowing that you are important, you matter, your voice matters. And thinking back to the poem I read earlier, nothing happens without you. Nothing happens without you, Black women. Nothing. And when you're ready, I invite you to inhale, open your arms wide. And on the exhale, we'll let them drop down to our sides. And in these last moments we have together, I invite you to remember back to that intention you set for your practice. And knowing that that intention doesn't have to just be for on the mat today. If that is something you want to take with you into the rest of your day, please take it. Please take it. Honor yourself and honor your needs. Find time for rest. Find time for community. Find time for family. Find time to love on yourself, Black women. So if you're ready to close out our time here together, I invite you to inhale your arms up overhead. Bring them together to touch at the top. And on the exhale, we'll exhale our hands down to our chest, prayer pose. Taking a final inhale together. And exhale, forward fold. And we'll actually take another inhale together. Inhale, coming back up to our seated position. And we'll exhale, we'll drop our hands down to rest on our lap. So thank you all so much for joining me in today's practice. And I hope that these gentle movements were useful for your mind and for your body. And I am Misha, aka Pieces of Mish, Yoga Mish, and however I can show up for my people is how I want to show up. So feel free to leave a comment after the video is posted, and feel free to revisit this practice if you ever need to. So thank you all so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.